All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matt here from Chill TCG. So today we're going to be taking a look at the top 16 deck lists from Chill Series 19, which wrapped up this past Wednesday. It was a great tournament. Great turnout. Thank you guys so much for playing. Of course, thank you to Card Cavern for sponsoring this tournament and all the future tournaments that are coming up. If you guys didn't know, we are sponsored by Card Cavern Trading Cards these days, and you can go to cardcaverntcg.com. Link will be down in the description below, and you can use the code CHILLTCG for 5% off your entire order. So I highly suggest you go check them out for really anything that you need when it comes to TCG-related codes and PTCGO-related codes. So definitely go check them out. So yeah, Chill Series 19. It was pretty awesome. We're going to go and take a look at the deck lists. The first thing you might notice here is that there's not a whole lot of variance with our top 16. So I think we had like we had 3 Senta Scorch, 3 Luke Metal, 3 Blounds, 3 E-Turn, and 3 Pigaro. And that's kind of how it goes. I think we have 1 ADP in here, actually. But, yeah, it wasn't super diverse. There's going to be quite a bit of repeats. We're only going to be looking at 6 different decks here, or deck archetypes in the top 16. However, each person deserves their credit, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tune right in. So first up at number 16, we have Kappa, or Cap A3K. I'm not sure exactly how to say that. He's from Portugal. I went 8-4, and he was playing ADP. So this is our only ADP, in top 16. ADP hasn't gotten too much love recently, but Cap here, he had a pretty good turnout here with ADP. Did make top 16, and it's a pretty different ADP list. So this could be pretty interesting to look at if you are an ADP fan. So 3 Zacian, 2 ADP tag team there. We get 2 Dedenne. We have an Oranguru in this deck. 1 Crobat, and then we have an Aegislash-V on top of a Mawile. So actually pretty interesting. We don't see Eldegoss in this list. The Oranguru kind of serves similar purposes, but I think Eldegoss overall is probably a little bit wider accepted in ADP lists, but it's interesting to see no Eldegoss in here, but we do see an Aegislash. And I don't know exactly how relevant Decigoons was. Excuse me, in this tournament exactly, but I guess Aegislash, why not, right? 4 Boss, 4 Research, 2 Marnie. I think that's a pretty standard supporter lineup. We don't see things like Skyla, which we see in some other ADP lists. We got 4 Switch, 4 Saucer, 4 Quick Ball, all standard stuff. And then we have 3 Crushing Hammers on top of 3 Rotom Phones. So the Rotom Phones Oranguru lineup actually seems kind of interesting. Like if you can get Oranguru out early in the game, then Rotom Phone might really help you to consistently get like that boss late game or the water energies early game. So I actually kind of like that idea. I think maybe if you're going to do this idea, maybe you just go like 2 Orangurus for consistency and then maybe 4 Rotom Phones and you take out like Aegislash. Maybe you even take out Hammers in general, right? And you just go full consistency, 4 Energy Switch, 2 Spinners, something like that. That could actually be pretty interesting, but for the most part, I don't know if this is sort of going to be like a new ADP archetype. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe people are just going to start playing this ADP. Either way, it's pretty interesting. We got the A3 Energy lineup, all good stuff. We have a Great Catcher, Tool Scrapper, 1 Air Balloon. So it's a different ADP list. I highly suggest, I think it could be refined a little bit. No disrespect to Cap. I think this idea is super cool. Yeah, I think, it's something I might try to go and test right now on PTCGO a little bit later. It seems kind of cool. I don't know if it's better to just run 4 Hammers, like, you know what I mean? Like, but, I guess it's something that's worth testing. He was our highest placing ADP in the tournament, so maybe there is something to say about this Rotom Phone ADP list here. So super cool. Big shout out to Cap here, Cap A3K. Definitely super cool, man. I'm not, always excited to see ADPs when we do these videos, but this is the only one in top 16. So our next highest one is D Florentino there at 27. So I guess it's nice at least to take a look at sort of a newer ADP build. Next up we have Senta Scorch. So let's see, we have Bro 0327 from the US, 8-4. He was playing Senti, so you have 3 Sentis in top 16. I guess we'll take a look at each of them and see what's different. So this is Ability Senta Scorch, or Senti Nets, I guess as some people call it. The T-Brophy Special, the Cash Vendor, Kabang, I don't know what you would call it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty standard Senta Scorch list these days. I know some people are running like Silvally Scorch. I think some people are running like Hammer Scorch or something crazy like that. But this definitely seems to be, I think, the most consistent Senta Scorch list, the best when it comes to different matchup spreads. You get the Giratina there to help with the Luke Metal matchup. You get a 3-3 lineup, 3 Jirachi, 2 Volcanion for your starters. I think the Zigzagoon is there, pretty clutch with the Fion, Giratina. You have Scoop Up Nets, all that stuff's pretty good. Of course, with Jirachi and Volcanion, it's another switching option, so I like that as well. Areshi's art. I've said so much about this list. I feel like I've talked about this exact 60 like so many times. It's pretty legit. I don't think this exact list has ever won a Chill Series tournament like this kind of Senta Scorch, but it always does extremely well, and it's only a matter of time before this thing wins and we make its own video about it. So I'm not going to spend too much time. Like I said, I've talked about this almost in every top 16 decks video because it always makes top 16, whether it's Thomas or somebody playing his 60. It's just an incredibly consistent Senta Scorch list, and it looks like, at first glance, it looks like it might be kind of all over the place, but it actually, melds pretty well. And any deck can have its consistency issues with bricking. You're running 2 boss, you got Eldegoss in there. 4 welder, you get like a lot of one-ofs like Fion, Reset Stamp, Catcher, Bird Keeper, Zigzagoon, but that's all stuff that's pretty easily searchable when you're running Durachi Engine. Things are just a lot more consistent than you might think. So, I like this a lot. I think this is the best Senta Scorch list in the game right now. And, I really don't have too much else to say about it. Shout out to Bruh, man, for playing the busted Senta Scorch list, man. Congrats on getting top 15. Next up, we have Steven Hamula from the U.S., 8-4 again. He's playing Senta Scorch, so let's see if his list is any different. I don't know if it will be. So it's the same 60. So again, I can't just, there's a lot of repeats in this video, so I apologize. I can't just sort of, just talk about the list over and over again, and I apologize. This video is probably going to be a bit shorter, but, here it is. If you guys missed it in the last, couple minutes I was talking about it. There it is again. So Steven Hamula, man, congrats. 2 great lists, 2 great players, man. Both of you guys, congrats on making top 16. Next up, we have 3 Luke medals in a row, so this might be interesting. We have Fabrizio, INS I-10. He's from, actually, Peru, went 8-4, and he's playing Luke medal, so there might be some variance in these Luke medal lists. I know there's some different ways to play it. So this Luke medal, people aren't really playing hammers in Luke medal anymore, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. We've got 4 Zacian, 2 Luke medal, 2 Zamazenta. I think that's pretty standard. 4 boss with 4 research, 4 Marnie. I don't know if Luke medal is always playing 4 boss. I think that's I think most people play 2 or 3. So 4 boss is kind of interesting. 2 Malalanas, personally, I do like to run 3, but 2 Malalana at least is definitely super good. And then we have the Guzma, Hala, Cynthia, and Caitlyn. Because of course we are running Tac Call. So everything just kind of comes together pretty well. He's only running 1 Tac Call, which is actually kind of interesting, but you know what? It was successful, and you really can't go too wrong with any of these Luke medal lists. We got 4 Saucers, 4 Switch, 4 Quick Ball, all standard stuff. 1 Tool Scrapper, I think that's pretty standard as well in Luke medal. And we actually only see 1 Poké Doll, Lily's Poké Doll. I feel like at least 2 dolls in Luke medal is good for that pivot for Zacian, for the consistent Zacian attacks. Just overall stalling, Lily's Poké Doll is just super good. I would run at least 2 personally. And like I said, only 1 Tackle. I think some decks are running 2 as well. We got 4 Goggles. If you're not running hoods, I think just running a 4 of Goggles is smart for sure. He's actually running Power Plant. So he's got 2 Power Plants in here. He's not running any Swell. He's not running anything else. I think Power Plant is actually kind of cool. We're not running any GX Pokemon with abilities. So, I guess it can shut down Mewtwo. I guess it can shut down, I guess things like Oricorio. Just trying to think what else it might be shutting down. Heatran. I guess it could actually be pretty good for Heatran. So the more that I think about it, Power Plant actually might be super, super good. I like it. I think running, I don't know. It's one of those things where they can always just play Hearth and then, then they can use their Heatran and whatnot. But it's interesting for sure. And he's actually running 15 energies instead of 14. I know most people are running a 10-4 lineup of energies, but he's running 11-4, so super cool, man. Shout out to Fabrizio. It's a little bit of a different Luke medal list, and I love to see it, man, so congrats to you. All right, and getting back into it, after after Fabrizio, we have Joshua Sutherland, so the resident Luke medal master, in my opinion. Shout out to Jake Gearhart. No disrespect. For my money, I think Joshua Sutherland probably is I guess the most successful Luke medal, although G. Gerhardt just had an amazing run in Players' Cup. But Joshua Sutherland, he's always been doing great. He won the Chill Series just a few weeks ago, so another strong finish for him. Definitely making the Invitational at this point. 12th in the tournament. Shout out to Josh here, 8-4. Pretty good resistance as well, man. He was also playing Luke medal, so let's take a look at his Luke medal list. It should be a bit different. Okay, yeah. So he's playing the same Pokemon count as pretty much everybody will be playing in Luke Metal. He's got 4 Marnie and then 3 Research, 3 Boss. I think this is a bit of a better supporter lineup in my opinion. He's got 2 Malalana, 1 Cynthia, 1 Guzma Hala. I like that. You know, and you need at least 2 Malalana for sure. Although I do prefer 3. Doesn't matter. You know, it's probably not a big difference. 4 Saucer, 4 Switch, 4 Quick Ball, standard stuff. He's actually running hammers this time. So he's got 3 Crushing Hammers in here with 2 Dolls. Excuse me, I think that's, totally appropriate. I think hammers is pretty cool. So the last list we saw wasn't running hammers. Josh, I don't know if he typically runs hammers in his Luke Metal list. I think he maybe was trying it out this week. 3 hammers is interesting, but I guess, it's not as important as maybe some other decks. So, 3 hammers, pretty cool. 2 Dolls, yep, 1 Scrapper, 1 Tackle, all good stuff. And then you see here he is running 3 Goggles with 2 Stealthy Hoods. So Josh likes to run his Stealthy Hoods. And this sort of gives your Pokemon immunity to things like Giratina to knock off your Coding Energies. You can't get Fioned, you can't get Zigzagoon pinged, and I guess a few other types of things as well. So Stealthy Hood is super cool. You can't get poisoned from things like Slowbro or whatnot. So Stealthy Hood is actually pretty cool. I like it in this deck list. I think that it has very good applications, but I don't know necessarily if it's entirely worth it. Josh swears by it, and he always has great success. So maybe it is the goods. I don't know. I mean, he's running that 10-4 lineup of energy like we mentioned in the last deck list. This is probably the standard energy lineup for Luke Metal. I think 10 basics is very good. You need the 4 coatings for sure. I think especially right now to have a chance against things like like all these Welder decks and Scorcher and whatnot. I think 4 coatings is extremely, extremely relevant. So yeah, I mean, this is Josh's list. I think this is very similar to Luke Metal lists that he has won with in the past or had really good placement. So I think that this is something to definitely take a look at. I don't know if hammers, we'd have to sort of talk to Josh, see if he thinks running hammers right now is sort of the best idea. But you know what? I like this list, and I think it's definitely very, very appropriate. So yeah, big shout out to Josh there. Number 12th in the tournament. Next up, we have Rayo 120. I think this is Gabe Fernandes. He's from Brazil. He went 8-3-1, which is, he got that nod over Josh there. But not 9-4 to make top 8. So okay, so Gabe here, number 11, he's also playing Luke Metal, so this is our highest placing Luke Metal in the tournament. Let's see what this thing looks like. So, okay, so this is pretty similar to Josh's list, except a few differences. So he did throw an Aegislash in here for the Decigoons matchup. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if, again, I don't really remember if Decigoons was like entirely relevant in this tournament, but you know what? It's a loss that you can prevent easily just by putting 1 Aegislash in your deck. So why not? He's running 4 Research as well as 4 Marnie, not 4-3-3. He's running 4-4-3 for this Porter lineup. 2 Mallow, 1 Cynthia, 1 Guzma. I think that's the same as Josh there. Saucer, Switch, Quick Ball, all the same. He's running 3 Dolls instead of 2. He's got 1 Scrapper, 1 Tackle, 4 so he's running 4 Goggles and 1 Hood instead of 3 Goggles and 2 Hoods. So a little bit different there with the tool count, the Pokemon tool count. And he's got 1 Swell in here with 1 less coating. So, a Swell can be very, very good. I'm not saying it can't, but I do think that 4 coating is definitely really good, right? So, I don't know. He did place higher in the tournament, just I think by having 1 tie. But you know what? I like this list as well. I think, he's not running hammers as well. So, yeah, he's added some cards in pretty much, and then he's not running hammers. So, I guess that's kind of the idea with his list. And again, I don't really have too much experience. Hammers are extremely good in the meta right now, but I don't know if it's really needed in Luke Metal. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, I guess, for sure. So, big shout out to Gabe for running Luke Metal. 3 Luke Metal lists here, all very similar, but minute differences throughout. And you can see that the skeleton is definitely pretty compact, but you can kind of change a few cards here and there to kind of, increase your chances with certain matchups. So, I like this list. I like it probably just as much as the other ones that we watched. So, big shout out to Gabe. And those are our resident Luke Metal placements here for Chill Series 19. Next up, we have A. Nunus. Nunez? I don't know. He's from the US, went 8-3-1, 10th in the tournament. This is our first E-turn that we're going to be looking at, the first of 3. So let's take a look here. Okay. So, so this is a little bit of a different E-turn list. He's got some spice in here. So he is running, obviously, of course, 4-3 lineup for Crobat. He turned into his Crobat, so all standard stuff there. He's got 2 Sneasel, and then he's got 2 Weavile GX, so that's actually kind of cool. Weavile is really good to move around your dark energies, I believe, and this actually can be kind of clutch. And I don't know if it's like entirely like like super good in E-Turn, but I guess it has its applications. Makes the deck a little bit more clunky to add more evolution Pokemon in, but for the most part, I guess it actually could be super, super clutch here. So 2 Weavile GX, kind of cool. And then we have 2 Zigzagoons and then 2 Evil Admonition Hoopas. And you guys might be wondering, like, oh, why is he running this Hoopa? Like, the other one's better or whatnot. But go look at the Grand Finals match. There'll be a link to it, like a little annotation above or whatnot. That Hoopa actually won the tournament. Like, it was the reason why our champion actually got the win there in that last round, in that last turn of Game 3 of Finals. So that Hoopa is extremely clutch, and it can come in clutch. It's a great attacker there for 1 energy. So he's got 2 of those, and then he actually has an Umbreon and Darkrai GX tag team, which is kind of cool. And I actually kind of forget what this thing does. Is Darkman the one that just KOs? Okay, so Darkman, your opponent can't play any training cards from their hand during their next turn. If this Pokemon has at least 5 energy attached to it, your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. So I like this kind of idea. Black Lance as well. For 3, you can do some damage. So, this is actually kind of cool in general, right? So you have Weavile, like you can build up energies throughout like a couple E-turns or whatnot. Hoopa, whatever your energies might be, and then you can kind of move them over to Darkrai and just get a 1-hit KO on anything right now in the game. And you are running 4 boss, so I think this strategy is actually kind of cool. I guess, like I said, it might be a little bit less consistent, but it's overall, like, it has that potential, right, to just, like, completely annihilate some matchups there in the late game. So I kind of like that. It's definitely cool. It's different, and he had good success with it. So this might be sort of a new way to play E-Turn. I don't know. Who knows? But definitely kind of cool. And then he's got, 4 Research, 4 Boss, 3 Marnie. I think 4 Boss and E-Turn is pretty much needed. I really think it's super good. And then, of course, we have 4 Great Ball, 4 Quick Ball, and then he's got 3 Pokecom there over to the right. And then we have 4 Crushing Hammers, so this is Hammer E-Turn as well. So I guess this deck list has a bit of a slower build-up, right? So kind of makes sense, right? You want to also kind of limit your opponent's pace with hammers. 4 Switch, and then he's got 1 Dark City and 3 Hiding Energy, so plenty of switching options as well. I think that's also good. If you're moving energies, you're probably going to be wanting to switch as well quite often. And then we have just 6 basics, so 9 total energies in E-Turn. I don't know if that's the standard. I think the standard is probably 10 total energies in E-Turn right now, but 9's probably not too big of a difference. The Hiding Energies, I don't know if Drill is becoming that common either, but there are things like Giratina, Zamazenta, but, for the most part, I think the Hiding Energies are actually kind of cool in this list, and I think that they're definitely pretty useful. So, super cool E-Turn list. Like, I like this one a lot. I have nothing but good things to say about A. Nunez's E-Turn list, bro, so congrats for getting 10th here in the tournament with E-Turn. Next up, we have Players Cup 2 champion, and my fellow podcast host, Zach Lesage from Canada. He went 9-3, bubbled just outside of top 8. Sad to see it, but you know what? He had a great run in the tournament, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at his Eternatus VMAX list, and this one's a little bit spicy as well, so people are kind of changing E-Turn. They're doing things a little bit different. And you'll notice here Zach is playing Rotom Phones. Rotom Phone E-Turn, kind of interesting. But again, Rotom Phone is a consistency card, right? It can kind of control what you're drawing off the top of your deck every turn, and that can be a problem with E-Turn, right? So, you know what? Maybe it's actually pretty clutch. He had a really good run in the tournament. I mean, Zach's a phenomenal player, so I don't know if he carried the deck. That's very possible. We'd have to bring him on and ask him about Rotom Phones. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next podcast coming up this next week. So, yeah, Rotom Phone E-Turn, kind of cool. Zach loves his Yveltal and his Spiritombs in E-Turn. I think those are very good cards. 2 Zigzagoon. Zach always says you don't need more than 2 Zigzagoons, and I kind of believe him there. He's got a 4-4 lineup of E-Turn and Crobat. And then he's got 4-4-4 lineup of supporters. I kind of like that as well. Those are all extremely crucial cards to this deck list. And he is running 4 Crushing Hammers as well. I think Hammers in E-Turn is just absolutely ridiculous. So if you're playing E-Turn, I highly suggest you run Hammers. And then we got 4 Quick Ball, 4 Great Ball, 2 Pokecom. So 1 less Pokemon Search there with 1 less Pokecom. But you have Rotom Phone for consistency to find your Pokemon. So, and then 9 basic Dark Energies, no special energy. So this deck list, I think, is sort of built around being consistent. Hammers aren't typically a consistency card or anything like that, but the rest of the deck is very consistent and based around that. So it's actually super interesting here. And I think it's definitely worth testing. So if you're watching this video and you're looking to play sort of a new type of E-Turn, we have, two sort of newer versions of Eternatus VMAX here than their last 2 decks that we saw. So, if I were you guys, maybe I go on PTCGO and I do some testing. I build these decks and I kind of test them out, see which one I think is good. And yeah, it's definitely super cool. So big shout out to Zach. no memes. It's kind of cool. Like it's honestly kind of cool. I'm not just saying that either. So big shout out to Zach Lasage. 9th in the tournament. Okay, now so we move on to top 8, and our top 8 was kind of not super evenly distributed. So we had 3 Peak, 3 Blounds, Senti, and an E-Turn. So let's take a look at Y Keen here at number 8. He is from Malaysia, went 9-4, and he's playing Pikarom. So I got to think that these Pikarom lists are all going to be pretty similar. Okay, so this is just a standard Peak list here in terms of 4 Hammers, 2 Yell Grunts. The Pokemon lineup is very standard. Supporter lineup, very standard. He's got 2 stamps. Everything here is actually extremely just normal, except he's running Wondrous Labyrinth, which is just a little bit different. I'm trying to think like what card he might have taken out to put a Wonder Lab in here, and I think he might have taken out like an E-Switch or maybe a Research or a Boss or something like that. But yeah, so Wondrous Lab, it's actually kind of cool. Of course, it can come in clutch. It's like a defensive sort of stadium card there, but it's actually super easy to get 3 energies on a Bolton, 4 energies on a Mewtwo or a Peak or a Raichu. So Wonder Lab is actually kind of cool. I think it can come in clutch as well. I think it maybe improves the E-Turn matchup, maybe the ADP matchup. So I kind of like Wonder Lab. I don't know if it's necessarily like super viable, but I like the idea with it, and I think that it's actually it's pretty clever overall. I think it's actually super cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time. We're going to move on to some other Pika lists that are probably going to be very similar. This is just standard, the Zilasage special Pikarom, the one that won Players Cup 2, except he's got, Wonder Lab in here, no Vikavolt, but it's sort of the modernized Pika list that a lot of people consider the best deck in the format. And I kind of agree. So the Wonder Lab is cool. That's the sort of the takeaway from Wykeen's list. Congrats, Wykeen, for getting top 8. Next up, we have Kobe Kawasaki. In my opinion, one of the best Blounds players in the world, or not, I guess, in the online world right now. In the online scene, I guess. I don't know how you would word that at this point, but always consistently placing extremely well. He always plays Blounds, 7th in this tournament. Went 9-4. Let's take a look at his Blounds list. This might be Corcephalon. This might be just straight Blounds. So it's actually just, so it's an actual Blounds list. You see he's only running 3, but for the most part, I don't think you really need 4 Blounds in these decks, and that's that's just my opinion. He's got 1 Cram here, 4 Jirachi, Zigzagoon, and then he's got a Reshi, so he's got some secondary attackers, some consistency cards, some starting cards there with Jirachi, Dedenne, Zacian, Mewtwo, or Choreo, all typical things that we see, and he actually has a Marshadow as well, which is actually super cool. 4 Welder, 1 Boss, I think that's also pretty standard in Blounds here, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Crystal, 4 Scoops, 4 Switch, then 2 Great Balls as well, so, and everything here is actually just pretty. I think this is just like a pretty typical Blounds list these days, I'm not too well versed to sort of know like what a normal Blounds list typically looks like, but this seems like it's actually very good, and it's probably what I would be running if I was going to run Blounds here. And I agree with everything that I'm seeing here. 2 E Retrieval, 4 Hearth, 16 Energy. Some people are running 17 or 18, I think, but 16 is probably fine with 4 Crystal, 4 Hearth, 2 Retrieval. Like that. I don't know if you really need more than that. So. Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Blounds is incredibly good right now, especially in best of 3. I think Blounds is just one of the best decks in the format. Definitely the best single prize archetype in the format right now, and has been for a long time. I think it was like one of the top 5 decks right now this past month, maybe top 6. I'm not even sure. But Blounds, yeah, super good. Kobe Kawasaki, an incredible player. We have 2 more Blounds actually to look at too. So Blacephalon here. This is just a really good list. Shout out to Kobe. If you're looking to play Blounds, that is probably my pick here. Next up, we're moving on. The next 3 are actually Chill Series admins, or just sort of like people who are friends of Chill TCG and help out quite commonly. Zach Cooper is actually somebody who runs our expanded tournament, so definitely cool to see. Gabe Smart, he's obviously a great player. He was playing Peak, got 6th in the tournament. Yeah, okay, so this is sort of like the standard Peak list here. I'm not sure exactly what's different, so he might be running... Okay, so he's running a 4th Bolton without the Wonder Lab, and other than that, this is the exact same list as the last one that we saw. I would say that this is good. I like 4 Boltons. I don't know if it's extremely necessary, but getting it on your starting turn going 2nd is like probably one of the most important things with this deck. Like getting that turn 1 Electrify is just so good. And you want to go 2nd, of course, with this list, and 4 Boltons, I think, helps with that. So Gabe definitely had like the right idea. He's a very smart player. He had a really great run in the tournament, so maybe 4 Bolton is the move. I don't know. Again, I'm not, I don't know. I can't say. I can only speculate, and I can kind of leave that up to you guys in the comment section below. So, huge shout out to Gabe. It's, in my opinion, this is like the best deck in the entire game right now in the standard format. For my money, PTCGO is just super good, and if I were to play PTCGO, it would look exactly like this, except I might, he's not running any E-Switch, actually, or Tag Switch, which I don't know about that. I think that Tag Switch is, like, very good, or E-Switch at least, or those cards are extremely good in Peak. But I guess with this deck, you kind of just go all in, and you just sort of rush, and I don't know, maybe we talked to Gabe, maybe he would have gone back and put E-Switch or Tag Switch in his deck, but, for the most part, yeah, I mean, this is very standard. I think most people are running E-Switch, but, I don't know if it's actually needed in the deck, so, yeah, I mean, big shout out to Gabe, super cool deck list, love to see it, and, yeah, man, congrats on getting number 6 in the tournament. Next up, we have Zach Cooper at number 5, also playing Peak. They had the same record, I guess. I mean, I don't know how this sort of works. I guess, like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess these guys are technically, like, the same. Like, it might as well just tie, right? They have the same point, same record. They went into top cut, so that, there's no resistance or anything like that. But anyway, Zach Cooper, number 5 in the tournament. Let's see if his list is any different. Okay. So, yeah, he's running, it's the same thing, but he's running 3 Boltons, then he does have that Tag Switch in here. So, like I said, this is sort of the most common Pika list. The last 2 we saw changed it just, like, slightly with a couple cards. But this, for the most part, is sort of like the base skeleton for Peak. If you're going to play Peak right now, I think this is what you play. Some people were going to play an E-Switch instead of Tag Switch, but they're not going to change anything else about this list, and I think that that's kind of appropriate. This is, I think, the exact Peak list that I play personally, but it's definitely super cool. Again, we're probably one of the best decks in the format. So big shout out to Zach Cooper and Gabe for having just both incredible runs in the tournament. Everyone go check out Zach Cooper on Twitter and on Discord. I don't know, just check him out. He runs Art Chill Series expanded tournaments every Sunday, which is actually going up tomorrow. So you guys should definitely go register for that. Link will be down in the description below. Yeah, it's Zach Cooper. Big shout out to him, man. Top 5. Just whiffed out on top 4, but you know what? It was a great run. Great run. Next up, we have Anti, Logan McKay, another Chill Series, I guess sort of family member in a sense. They did really well in this tournament. He was playing Blowns. He's from Canada. Went 10-3-1, so big shout out to Anti. I play Fortnite with him all the time. I always carry him in Fortnite because Anti sucks. Just kidding. And then we have Canada. He's from Canada. Yep, okay. Blowns, let's see what his Blowns list looks like. Is this Chrycephalon or is it Blowns? Okay, so this is Chrycephalon, as some people call it. And it's Blowns, but with a heavier emphasis, of course, on Reshi and Cramp. So this is the exact same kind of list that we saw before, except he's running 2 Blowns instead of 3. He's got an extra Cram in there. He's got an extra Reshi in there. He's running less energy, so he's running 13 instead of like 16 or 17, and that's because, we have less of an emphasis on Blowns, so we don't need that many energy in our hand at one time, for the most part, right? He's got 4 crystals still, same supporter count, but he's not running 2 energy retrieval. Instead, he's running 2 Pokegears for extra consistency to find those supporters, and instead of Great Balls, he's running Pokecoms. So overall, I like this list a lot. I think that, it's always been a debate, like, is it better to just sort of focus on Blacephalon, right, and use that as your primary attacker, or do you really want to have a bigger focus on multiple Cramorants, multiple Reshi's Arts for, different matchup scenarios? The 2-2-2 attacker lineup there definitely sort of makes the deck more adaptable, but is it better in the long run? I'm not sure. You guys can debate that in the comment section below, but, Chrycephalon, it's some people are calling this, like, Tempo's Art, I guess. I don't know. But I think Chrycephalon is, I guess, the most appropriate, or like the most correct name for it these days. But, for me, it's just a Welder Box deck list. Once you sort of just sprinkling like a wide variety of different Pokemon in the deck that are all sort of based around Welder, it just becomes sort of a Welder Box deck, and the only thing it's missing is like a Heatran or something like that. But Chrycephalon, they're going to be mad at me for calling it anything else. But it's a really good deck, and I highly suggest trying to play that. Big shout out to Anti, dude. 4th in the tournament, top 4. So congrats to you, my man. Gustavo Wada, I think, yeah. So all caps too. He's from Brazil. I got 3rd in the tournament, same record, 10-3-1. Also playing Blowns. So let's take a good look at his Blowns list and see what he's rocking with. So almost the exact same list here. He's running a Goon. I don't know if the last list was running Goon. He's not running Marshadow. I think the last list was running Marshadow. He's got 3 Cherish Balls. I think that's also different. He's got Great Catcher as well, so in 14 energy. So it's a little bit different, but you can see how it's very much similarly like the same idea. And if you're looking to build this list, maybe this kind of gives you some extra ideas of what stuff you could be running. The Goon, of course, can be pretty clutch, I think, with 4 Scoop Up Nets. 4 Jirachis as well, right? So Scoop Up Net makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's the same idea, just a little bit different. I don't know. I don't really have too much else to say. I don't have too much experience with like Blounds or Chrycephalon or anything like that, or even Welder decks in general. I'm not a big fan of Welder, but for the most part, I think that both of these deck lists are very, very good. I don't know exactly which one I would prefer or which one I think is better. They both have the exact same record in the tournament, so I'm not exactly sure. But Gustavo Wada, bro, big shout out to Gustavo Wada, my man, the homie. I have no idea really who that is, but congrats on number 3 in the tournament, my dude. Next up, we have Haruki Tsutsuki, I think is how you say his name. Haruki, he's just here. He's from Japan, so he probably knows how to play pokes. He's 11-4-0. That was his record. He is playing Scorcher. He went to Grand Finals, and he was playing Fernando. So you can go check out his list. You can go check out his gameplay and his Grand Finals match. We did post the VOD, the video of the Grand Finals match, yesterday, and there'll be a link to it, like an annotation above. I talked about it earlier, up there somewhere. So definitely go check it out when you're done with this, of course. And he was playing Scorcher, so let's take a look at his Scorcher list. I think it was Ability Scorcher. It is. It's the T-Brophy Special. I don't know if there's anything different about this version than Thomas's list. I think there might be. I just don't really remember. He's running 2 boss, so I think Thomas was running 2 boss as well. I don't know exactly what's different. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe he's running like 1 less net and another Pokecom. I don't know. It's very minute if there is a difference here. I just personally don't actually remember it. But yeah, this is the best Scorcher list right now. It's definitely one of the best decks in the format. Zach Lesage actually called it the best deck in the format. And I mean, it's definitely up there. It's definitely close. I would put E-Turn above it. Not just because it won this tournament, but for the most part, I think that E-Turn is a bit more better of a list. But yeah, I mean, this Scorcher list is incredible. Haruki actually played this deck a bit differently. I mean, he really did a focus with Zigzagoon there. So what Haruki liked to do was like hit for like for example, he would hit like a Galarian Slowbro V for 200, and Galarian Slowbro V has 210 HP. So he would hit it for 200, leave it in the active spot, and then try to boss or Great Catcher into something else. And then, attack that in a different Pokemon in the active while just pinging and getting a KO off the bench with Zigzagoon. So his sort of playstyle was really different, I think, than most people. And he had a lot of success. So maybe that Grand Finals match is actually really worth watching if you're watching this right now. Excuse me. But yeah, Haruki had a fantastic run. He's an incredible player. Got pretty unlucky, I think, a little bit at least, in the Grand Finals match, but had an incredible Grand Final set. Game 3, right down to the wire, so definitely go check it out and watch that video for sure if you're interested in how it really, an example of how to play this deck list. Yeah, this is it. We've already sort of seen this list before. It's really, really good, and I highly suggest that you go play it. So big shout out to Haruki, my man. Next up, we have Fernando SeFuentes, Mr. 3-time now, from Chile, 12-3-0. He did win the whole thing, and he was playing E-Turn. Now, before we go in and sort of talk about his list, I guess, Fernando, going into this tournament, was the only 2-time Chill Series champion. I think he won like Chill Series 5 and then like Chill Series 8 or 9. So in Season 1, he had 2 wins. It's been a while since he won a Chill Series tournament, but the only 2-time Chill Series champion comes back and actually wins a 3rd. So just, he's got 3 Chill Series wins, and nobody else even has 2, so I don't know. He's kind of the Chill Series GOAT at this point. He's a phenomenal player from Chile. I think he's a young fellow. Actually, I think he's actually a pretty young guy, so definitely incredible to see. He's such a good player, and it's just awesome to see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Chill Series Season 2 is about to wrap up, and I don't know. It's just cool to see, man. It's definitely cool to see. But I don't know. I apologize, but we're not going to be taking a look at Fernando's deck because we're actually going to be covering his deck list in a different video tomorrow, or at least soon. We're going to be making a video a complete separate video on his deck list, and we're going to go in depth on it. So we're not going to be covering it here on this video. I apologize. I'll leave you guys on a cliffhanger. If you guys want to check it out, just come on Limitless here and click on the list. It'll be up here. But yeah, tomorrow or the next day, we're going to be making a completely separate video specifically on his deck. So, we're going to give him his shine and his just due. So, yeah, we're going to wrap it up at that point. So nothing else we can really talk about here. Those were our top 16 deck lists from Chill Series number 19. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Big shout out to all you dudes who always come out and play every week. We just had a wide collection of fantastic players here in the top 16 this week. So it's really great to see. It's great to see the regulars that play every week as well. So just big thanks to everybody who's playing. If you're watching this video and, you're looking to play in a Chill Series tournament, maybe you played a while ago and you're looking to play again, or you haven't played a Chill Series tournament yet, I highly suggest that you come and play in Chill Series number 20, which is our last regular season Chill Series of the season before our last chance qualifier. It is going to be coming up this Wednesday, so Chill Series 20 is coming up. Definitely go play. Link will be down in the description below. But with that, guys, we're going to peace out. So, yeah, thank you for watching. See ya.